Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi, and our energy mantra for today is I appreciate the inherent balance flow of the universe. And there is a balance in here somewhere, but things are getting weird. There's somebody I follow on Instagram. I don't know what his name is, but he's like, things are getting weird. Part infinity. And as I was pressing record, that's what I heard. So as I looked at today's astro, I was like, oh, we have Yods times 3. The inconjuncts are redunculous right now. Oh my goodness. We have an inconjunct pointing at Neptune, we have an inconjunct pointing at Mars, we have an inconjunct pointing at Venus, and there's probably more in there that my brain is not even just like seeing right now, but it's like neon fingers all over the sky being like, hey, are you getting this? Are you getting this? Are you getting this? What I love about the inherent balance of the universe is that both Venus and Mars are in a sextile, creating a yod with Neptune, but they also have their own individual yachtiness happening. And so, like I said, even though things are a little bit bonkers in this astro, there's an inherent balance to it. Now, what came up as I was looking at this astro energy was the mandala effect. So that's like the thing that happens where you're like, is it the Berenstain Bears or is it actually the Berenstain Bears? And there's a whole bunch of things that are like that, like Fruit of the Loom never had like a cornucopia on it. Whole bunch of things. If you go look up the mandala effect. And what was coming, how that came through is like, oh, this energy is very timeline jumpy. I think we may be jumping through, visiting, cleaning up some energies in this, and it's all a big illusion. So on top of the yachtiness that we have going on, the 3 yods, which we'll dig into a little bit, we have the South Node and Mars meeting up today. So again, speaking of these old energies kind of colliding in time with today. Like, just check out and see if any new mandala effects or anything comes up in the next little bit, because this would make so much sense to me. We may have to revisit old patterns that we have activated, that Mars activated, old desires we have activated, and clear them, heal them, release them, visit them in this energy. So this could show up in dreams. This could show up in deja vus. Oh my gosh, I do expect deja vus through the day. Please let me know if you end up having some deja vus, because wowzers, this astro energy is like, whoa. Listen for those repeating patterns in yourself and notice where you are being called to get off the loop. It's like, what are those? We have those all over here. I don't know what they're called. They're annoying. I don't like them. It's where you have that little circle and like there's all these places where you can get off and you have to figure out which one you're supposed to go on to continue on your way. One of those things. But we've been looping and looping and looping. And today is the great day to take your individual off-ramp off that loop into something new. Now, what is the new? Well, the new is the, North Node in Aries energy. Loving yourself, respecting yourself, honoring yourself. Now, it's also interesting that all of these yachts, they're all later degrees, like 25, 24, 22. And so the yods, the nodes themselves are at 24 right now. So they are feeding into these yachty energies. You yourself knows the way, and my way of moving through this may not be your way, and that is okay. North Node in Aries is reminding us there is a reason that we are all here as individuals and not just one great blob of souls. That would be such a good band name, though. Blob of Souls. Like, I love that. Please, somebody make a band and be the Blob of Souls. Wow, this energy is interesting. So, the yodiness, focusing on Neptune, in a perfect in conjunct today with Venus, is asking you, can you use your illusion? Can you also see through the illusion of all that's unfolding? Can you see through the illusion of time? Can you see through the illusion of distance? Can you see through the illusion of these veils that we say are there? Can you see through the illusion of reality to the deeper dimensional reality that the world really is? So Neptune's giving us that opportunity. But it's also seeing through the realities of like the dynamics, the interplay between sexes, the interplay between people, the interplay between the yin and the yang, recognizing that the interplay out there is repeating, mirroring the interplay within. And so much is about finding our individual balance in this. Balance, again, is not something static. Balance is something in flow. Sorry, I was eating so hungry. I was eating pretzels beforehand, gluten-free. And I didn't drink enough water, I guess. But balance is in flow always. It's not static. And so keep that in mind. Part of balance is falling out of balance and then moving back into that balance. So keep that in mind as we move through the day. Venus being yachted, if you remember, we had a bunch of this back in, I think, was it August that we had a bunch of these yods being yachted by Neptune and Pluto, standing in the yin power, taking the yin power back from timelines where the yin was not able to be respected, and bringing that respect, bringing that power to it now. Mars energy feeding in with Neptune and lucky Mars, some Uranus energy, some liberation for the yang as the yin steps into power. And again, having to recognize in the yang energy where any of us, all of us, have stepped into that patriarchal, have stepped into over-younging it for survival energy. So super interesting. The main in conjunct exactamundo energy is with Venus and Neptune. Watch for the fogginess. Today was definitely foggy. Words were hard, but there's still going to be fogginess with Venus in this in conjunct. Watch in relationships for where you see the distortions coming through, where you see the unevenness in that yin and yang balance. In the yin and yang interplay coming up and moving through in this, and watch for discrepancies. Watch for the delusion. There's a difference. I said yesterday there's a difference between fake it till you make it and use your illusion. There's also a very big difference between delusion and illusion, and it's up to each of us to see what we decide to empower and what belongs in our life. Now, besides all of this interestingness, which even though the 3 Yods is very interesting, I do think the South Node and Mars is a very powerful, has a very powerful pull for us. We have the Moon in Gemini, and so the Moon in Gemini is going to be like, who, what, where, when, how, why? Very on top of it, but very distracted by the shiny. Watch for where people are putting out the shiny to distract you in this energy. Don't fall for that illusion. Mercury is being empowered by Pluto today. It could cause some deeper critical thinking, and that could go either way. Moon squaring Saturn. Interesting dreams. I had a Meghan Markle dream last night. Or Duchess Meghan, I guess. I had a dream of her last night. She was in my dream. Very friendly. I enjoyed her. Sun and moon also connecting. My sister today was like, everybody's so chatty. Why is everybody so chatty? I'm like, it's Libra season. So the chattiness is probably going to be boosted up. Listen for what you learn. Listen for keys. I think that there's going to be keys, again, across timelines. You may not necessarily get a whole story. It may just be a word. But listen for the things that jump out to you. There are messages. There are so many messages for you in and through this astro. Speaking of mental energies, Mercury finishing up in Libra. It will be moving, finishing up in Virgo. Sorry, my brain is done. Turn down the lights. We're done. Mercury's finishing up in Virgo. It will be moving into Venus, Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus, which is why I keep saying that. It will be moving into Libra on Wednesday. As we finish up these last few degrees, shenanigans can also increase. We're already in the shenanigans, but just preparing you for more shenanigans. Let's look at these cards. This is longer than I meant to go. Balance, abundance, finding it between your human and your spiritual self, knowing it's all at play. All these cards feel like the participation level of all of yourselves, right? The celebration. Let's work together within ourselves. It's also getting by with a little help from your friends, reaching out for that connection to help you move through this deeper layer of participation. We've got clinging to the past in reverse. Watch that with the South Node. What are you holding on to? What do you need to forgive? Where is guilt gripping you? That is the word that I was hearing as I was looking at that, was guilt. And hold space for divine possibility in this astro energy. So, book a reading. This is also interesting. Let's dig into it in your chart. Eclipse reading still available. Besides all this, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and remember who you are. Namaste.